नमो ओं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I hope all you are doing well. Today we'll be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 4 from text 25. Yesterday we have read till text 34. Text 34. If you have not listen our previous leading class, please check out from our Chaitanya Charitamrita playlist from YouTube. Today we'll be starting from text 30 kind of 5. So before we begin today, let's pray first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. नारायणं नमस्कृतं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततं जयमुदीरयेत्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। नमो महापदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरीतिषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। Text 35. Please listen very carefully. ভবেৎ ক্রিয়া বিধিলং সেই ইহা কয় কর্তব্য অবশ্য এই অন্যথা প্রত্যবয়। ভবেৎ ক্রিয়া বিধিবয় সেই ইহা কয় কর্তব্য অবশ্য এই অন্যথা প্রত্যবয়। ভবেৎ ভবেৎ kriya the verb, vidhi laya the an injunction of the imperative mood, say that, iha that, kahe says, कर्तव्य to be done, अवश्य certainly, a this, अन्यथा otherwise, प्रत्यक्ष प्रत्यवाय प्रत्यवाय म्हणजे detriment. Here the use verb bhavet, which is the imperative mood. Here the use of verb bhavet, which is an imperative mood, tells us that this certainly must be done. Non-compliance would be abandonment of duty. Non-compliance would be abandonment of duty. The imperative is applicable. This imperative is applicable to pure devotee. Neopath will be available to understand this affair only after being elevated by regulated devotional service under the expert guidance of spiritual master. Then who then they too will be competent to hear of love affair of Sri Radha and Krishna. As long as one is material conditioned life, strict discipline is required in the matter of moral and immoral activity. The absolute world is transcendental and free from such distinction because their inebriety is not possible. But in this material world, a sexual appetite necessitates distinction between the moral and immoral conduct. There are no sexual activity in spiritual world. The transaction between lover and beloved in spiritual world are pure transcendental love and unadulterated bliss. One who has not been attracted by the transcendental beauty of rasa will certainly be dragged down into material attraction, thus to act in material contamination and process to the darkest region of the hellish life. But by understanding the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, one is free from the grip of attraction of the material so called love between the man and woman. Similarly, one who understands the pure parental love of Nanda Yashoda for Krishna will be saved from being dragged into material parental affection. If one accepts Krishna as a supreme friend, an attraction of the material friendship will be finished for him, and he will not be dismayed by kind of so-called friendship with mundane wrangler. If he is attracted by servitorship to Krishna, he will no longer have to serve the material body in the graded statue of material existence with the false hope of becoming master in the future. Similarly, one who sees the gesture of the Krishna in naturality will certain never again see the so-called relief of impersonalist or voidist philosophy. If one is not attracted by the transcendental nature of Krishna, one is sure to be attracted by material enjoyment, thus to become implicated in the clinging network of various and sinful activity and to continue material existence by transmigrating from the one material body to another. Only in Krishna consciousness can one achieve the highest perfection in life. 36-37 এই বাঞ্ছা জয়ছে কৃষ্ণ প্রাকট্য কারণ অসুর সংহার আনুষঙ্গ প্রয়োজন এই বাঞ্ছা জয়ছে কৃষ্ণ প্রাকট্য কারণ অসুর সংহার আনুষঙ্গ প্রয়োজন এই মত চৈতন্য কৃষ্ণ পূর্ণ ভগবান যুগধর্ম প্রবর্তন নহে তার কাম এই মত চৈতন্য কৃষ্ণ পূর্ণ ভগবান এই মত চৈতন্য কৃষ্ণ পূর্ণ ভগবান যুগধর্ম প্রবর্তন নহে তার কাম এই this vancha desire yeche just as Krishna of Lord Krishna pratyaksha for the manifestation karana reason asura samhara the killing of demon anusangya secondary Prayogyan reason. A mata like this Chaitanya as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Purna Fool, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Yuga Dharma, the religion of the age, Pravartena, initiating Nahe is not, there of him, Kama, the desire. Just as these desire are the fundamental reason of Krishna's appearance, whereas destroying the demon is only an incidental necessity. So for Krishna Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality Godhead, pro- promulgating the dharma of the age is incidental. Just as these desires are fundamental reason for Krishna's appearance, whereas destroying the demon is only an incidental necessary. So for Krishna Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality Godhead, promulgating the dharma of the age is incidental. 38 কোন কারণে যবে হইল অবতারে মন কোন কারণে যবে হইল অবতারে মন যুগধর্ম কাল হইল সে কালে মিলন কোন কোন কারণে যবে হইল অবতারে মন যুগধর্ম কাল হইল সে কালে মিলন কোন কারণে বাই সাম রিজন যবে when হইল there was Avatara in incarnation, Mana the inclination, Juga Dharma for the religion of the age, Kala the time, Hoila there was, Sei Kale at the time, Milana the conjunction. When the Lord desired to appear for another reason, the time for promulgating the religion of the age also arose. When the Lord desired to appear for another reason, the time for promulgating the religion of the age also arose. 39 দুই হেতু অবতারী লইয়া ভক্তগণ আপনে আস্বাদে প্রেম নাম সংকীর্তন দুই হেতু অবতরী লইয়া ভক্তগণ আপনে আস্বাদে প্রেম নাম সংকীর্তন দুই টু হেতু রিজন অবতারী ইনকারনেটিং লইয়া টেকিং ভক্তগণ দ্য ডিভোটি আপনা হিমসেলফ Aswadi, taste, prema, love of God, Nama Sankirtan, and conjugal chanting of the holy name. Thus, with true intention of the Lord appeared with his devotee and tasted the nectar of prema with the conjugal chanting of the holy name. Thus, with true intention, the Lord appeared with his devotee and tasted the nectar of prema with the conjugal chanting of holy name. Thus, with true intention, the Lord appeared with his devotee and tasted the nectar of prema with the conjugal chanting of holy name. Text 40 সেই দ্বারে আচণ্ডালে কীর্তন সঞ্চারে সেই দ্বারে আচণ্ডালে কীর্তন সঞ্চারে নাম প্রেমমালা গাঁথি পরাইল সংসারে সেই দ্বারে আচণ্ডালে কীর্তন সঞ্চারে নাম প্রেমমালা গাঁথি পরাইল সংসারে। সেই দ্বারে, by that, Chandale, even among the Chandalas, Kirtana, the chanting of the holy name, Sanchare, he infused, Nama, the holy name, Prema, and love of God, Mala, a garland, Gathi, the stringing together, Poraila, he put it on, Samsare, the whole material world. Thus he spread Kirtana even among the untouchables. He wove the width of the holy name and prema with which he garlanded the entire material world. এই মতো ভক্তভাব করি অঙ্গীকার আপনি আচরি ভক্তি করিল প্রচার। এই মতো ভক্তিভাব করি অঙ্গীকার আপনি আচরি ভক্তি করিল প্রচার। এই মতে লাইক দিস ভক্তিভাব দ্য পজিশন অফ দ্য ডিভোটি করি মেকিং অঙ্গীকার of acceptance. Apani himself, Achari practicing bhakti devotional service, Korila did, Prochara propagation. In this way, assuming the sentiment of the devotee, he preached the devotional service while practicing it himself. In this way, assuming the sentiment of the devotee, he preached devotional service while practicing it himself. When Rupa Goswami met Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayagraj, Allahabad, he offered his respectful obeisances by submitting that Lord Chaitanya was more magnanimous than any other avatar of Krishna because he was distributing the love of Krishna. His mission was to enhance the love of Godhead. In the human form of life, the highest achievement is to attain the platform of love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya did not invent a system of religion, as some people sometimes assume religious systems are meant to show the existence of God, who is then gradually approach the cosmic order supplier. But the Lord Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu transcendental mission is to distribute the love of Godhead to everyone. Anyone who accepts God as a supreme can take the process of chanting Hare Krishna and become a lover of God. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous. This munificent broadcasting of devotional service is possible only for Krishna himself. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has taught the philosophy of surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who has surrendered to the Supreme can make further progress by learning to love Him. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement propagated by Lord Chaitanya is easily meant for those who are cognizant of the process of the Supreme Godhead, the ultimate controller of everything. His mission is to teach people how to devote themselves into engagement of transcendental loving service. He is Krishna's he is Krishna teaching his own service from his position of a devotee. The Lord acceptance of the role of the devotee in the eternal form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is another of the Lord wonderful feature. A conditioned soul cannot reach the absolute personality of the Godhead by his imperfect endeavor. And therefore, it is wonderful that Lord Krishna, in the form of the Lord Gauranga, has made it easy for everyone to approach him. Swarup Damodar Goswami has described Lord Chaitanya as a Krishna himself with the attitude of Radharani, or a combination of Radha and Krishna. The intention of Lord Chaitanya is to taste Krishna's sweetness in transcendental love. He does not care to think of himself as a Krishna because he wants the position of Radharani. We should remember this. A class of so-called devotee called the Nadia Nagaris or Gaura Nagaris pretended that they have the sentiment of the gopi towards the Lord Chaitanya, but they do not realize that he placed himself not as the enjoyer Krishna, but as the enjoyer, the devotee of Krishna. The concoction of unauthorized person pretending to be bona fide have not been accepted by Lord Chaitanya. Presentation such as those the Gaura Nagaris are only disturbance to the sincere execution of the mission of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is undoubtedly Krishna himself, and he is always non-different from Srimati Radharani. But the emotion technically called Vipralamba Bhava, which the Lord adopted for confidential reason, should not be distributed in the name of service. The mundaner should not unnecessarily intrude into affair the transcendence and thereby displace the Lord. One must always be on guard against this sort of devotional anomaly. The devotee is not meant to create disturbance to Krishna. Is as Srila Rupa Goswami has explained, devotional service is anukalyana or favorable to Krishna. According acting unfavorably towards Krishna is not a devotion. Kamsa was enemy of Krishna. He always thought of Krishna, but he thought of him as an enemy. One should always avoid such unfavorable so-called service. Lord Chaitanya has accepted the role of Radharani, and we would support that position as Swarup Damodar did in the Gambhira, the room where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Puri. He always reminded Lord Chaitanya Radha's feeling of separation as they are described in Srimad Bhagavatam, and Lord Chaitanya appreciated his assistance. But the Gauranagari who placed Lord Chaitanya in the position of angel and themselves as his enjoyed are not approved by Lord Chaitanya or by Lord Chaitanya's follower. Instead of being blessed, the foolish imitator are left completely apart. Their concoction are against the principle of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The doctrine of transcendental enjoyment by Krishna cannot be mixed up with the doctrine of transcendental feeling of separation from Krishna in the role of Radharani. টেক্সট 42 দাস্য সখ্য বাৎসল্য আর যে শৃঙ্গার চারি প্রেম চতুর্বিধ ভক্তই আধার দাস্য সখ্য বাৎসল্য আর যে শৃঙ্গার চারি প্রেম চতুর্বিধ ভক্তই আধার দাস্য servitude, sakhya, friendship, vatsalya, parental affection, are and ye that, Sringara, conjugal love, chari, four type, prema, love of God, Chaturvidha, four kind, bhakti, devotee, adhara, the containers. Four kind of devotee are the receptacle of the four kind of mellow in love of God, namely servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. Four kind of devotee are the receptacle of the four kind of mellow in the love of God, namely servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. নিজ নিজ ভাব সবে শ্রেষ্ঠ করি মানে নিজ ভাবে করে কৃষ্ণ সুখ আস্বাদনে নিজ নিজ ভাব সবে শ্রেষ্ঠ করি মানে নিজ ভাব করে কৃষ্ণ সুখ আস্বাদনে নিজ নিজ ইচ হিজ ওন ভাব মুড সবে অল শ্রেষ্ঠ করি মেকিং দ্য বেস্ট মানে অ্যাকসেপ্ট নিজ ভাবে in his own mood করে does Krishna Sukha happiness with Lord Krishna Aswadane testing. Each kind of devotee feels that his sentiment is the most excellent and thus in that mood he tastes the great happiness with Lord Krishna. তটস্থ হইয়া মনে বিচার যদি করি সব রস হইতে শৃঙ্গারে অধিক মাধুরী তটস্থ হইয়া মনে বিচার যদি করি সব রস হইতে শৃঙ্গারে অধিক মাধুরী তটস্থ becoming impartial money in that mind vichara consideration yadi if kori doing sab rasa all the melo hoite then shringare in conjugal love odhika greater madhuri sweetness. But if we compare the sentiment in an impartial mode, we find that the conjugal sentiment is superior to all other in sweetness. No one is higher or lower than anyone else in transcendental relationship with the Lord. For the absolute realm, everything is equal. But although these relationships are absolute, there are also transcendental differences between them. Thus, the transcendental relationship of conjugal love is considered the highest perfection. यतत्वरौ मशौ शादौ विशेषौल्लसमो यपि रतिवशनयस्वद्विभासते कपि कस्यचित् यथोत्तरौ यथोत्तरौ मशौ शादौ विशेषौल्लसमोऽपि रतिर्वासनयास्वद्विभासते कपि कस्यचित्. Yathattarau, one after another, show that Shwada Vishesha of the particular taste, Ulla Shamai consisting of the increase, Api though, Rati love, Vashanaya by the different desire, Swadvi sweet, Vasate exist, Ka api any, Kaschit of someone, the devotee. Increasing love is experienced in various tastes, one above another. But that love which has the highest taste is the gradual succession of desire manifest itself in the form of conjugal love. Increasing love is experienced in various tastes, one above another. But that love which has the highest taste is the gradual succession of desire manifest itself in the form of conjugal love. This verse of the Sri Rupa Goswami from Sri Rupa Goswami Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.38. অতএব মধুর রস কহিতার নাম স্বকীয় পরকীয়া ভাবে দ্বিবিধ সংস্থান অতএব মধুর রস কহিতার নাম স্বকীয় পরকীয়া ভাবে দ্বিবিধ সংস্থান অতএব therefore madhura sweet rasa melo kohi I say taro of that namo the namo sakyo own parakyo the name parakyo another bhavo in that mood dividha to type Samasthana position. Therefore, I call it Madhura Rasa. It has two further division, namely wedded and unwedded love. পরকীয়া ভাবে অতি রসের উল্লাস ব্রজ বিনা ইহার অন্যত্র নাহি বাস পরকীয়া ভাবে অতি রসের উল্লাস ব্রজ বিনা ইহার অন্যত্র নাহি বাস পরকীয়া ভাবে in the mood of পরকীয়া or conjugal relationship outside of marriage অতি very great রসের of melo উল্লাস increase ব্রজ বিনা the except for ব্রজ ইহার of his অন্যত্র anywhere else nahi there is not vas resident. There is a great increase of melo in the unwedded conjugal mood. Such love is found nowhere but in Braj. There is a great increase of melo in the unwedded conjugal mood. Such love is found nowhere but in Braj. 48 ব্রজবধূগণের এই ভাব নিরবধি তার মধ্যে শ্রীরাধার ভাবের অবধি ব্রজবধূগণের এই ভাব নিরবধি তার মধ্যে শ্রীরাধার ভাবের অবধি ব্রজবধূগণের of the young wife of Braja এই this ভাব mood নিরবধি unbounded তার মধ্যে among them শ্রী রাধা শ্রীমতী রাধারানী ভাব of the mood অবধি the highest limit. This mood is unbounded in the damsel of the Braja, but among them it find its perfection in Sri Radha. This mood is unbounded in the damsel of Braja, but among them it find its perfection in Sri Radha. Hare Krishna. Today we are concluding the reading session for the day. For tomorrow we will be reading from text 49. So let's conclude the reading session for the day by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So thank you very much. Hare.
All right, let's dive right in. We're about to unpack a spiritual text that's built around a truly radical idea, a path to the divine that isn't guided by rules, but by the raw, overwhelming power of spontaneous love. It's a deep concept for sure, so let's explore it together.
We're starting with this quote because, wow, it gets right to the heart of the matter.
It's a pretty provocative statement, isn't it? The idea that pure love could actually lead someone to go beyond what we think of as moral or religious duty? Well, that's designed to make you stop and think. So what does it actually mean? Well, to really get that quote, you have to understand this one word, dharma. And we're not just talking about simple manners here. Dharma is the bedrock, the foundational religious and moral duties that give society its structure in the Vedic tradition. The text gives this incredible example of the gopis, who hear Krishna's flute in the middle of the night and just leave everything, their homes, their families, breaking every conventional rule out of a pure, unstoppable attraction. So, here's the crucial point. This text is laying out a journey where intense, pure feeling is the ultimate compass. This path is actually called Raga Marga, which literally means the path of spontaneous love. And it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. This love has different levels, different tastes, you could say. Let's see how that builds. Now, before we get into the how of this path, the text hits us with the why. Why would the divine, why would Krishna even show up on Earth in the first place? It's a fantastic question, and the text gives two reasons. One that it calls primary, and another that's more incidental. And this right here really shows you what the main focus of this text is. Over on the right, you've got the reason many of us would probably guess, to fight evil, destroy the bad guys. But the text says, nope, that's actually secondary. The primary reason, on the left, is something deeply personal and internal. For Krishna to experience and taste the entire spectrum of divine love for himself, the inner emotional journey, that's the main event. Now, what's so interesting about this is that second part of the quote. This divine tasting isn't just some selfish act. By experiencing these rasas, these different mellows of love, Krishna actually makes them accessible to everyone else. He's basically creating a roadmap for devotees to follow, showing them how to trade in lesser things for this higher spontaneous love. So, okay, if Krishna himself had this incredible experience, how is that shared with the rest of us? Well, the text explains that Krishna appears again, but this time in the form of Lord Chaitanya, and his whole purpose is to teach this path. You can kind of think of him as the bridge that makes it all accessible. And how he does it is just fascinating. See, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, but he takes on the role of a devotee, specifically the mood of Radharani, who's considered the greatest devotee of all. So he can teach by example. He's not just talking about divine love, he's living it, he's tasting it. And then through things like public chanting, he gives that experience away freely to absolutely everyone, completely smashing all those social barriers. Now, the text itself includes a really critical warning here. It cautions against a group called the Sahajiyas. These were people who basically tried to imitate these divine pastimes on a purely physical, material level, mistaking this incredible spiritual love for ordinary lust. And the source is crystal clear on this. This path of love is transcendental. It's pure. Confusing it with everyday emotion completely misses the point and leads you away from the goal, not toward it. All right, so let's move on and see how this all builds into those different types of love we talked about. The text calls them rasas, which is just a beautiful word. You can translate it as tastes or mellows. Just think of them as the different flavors of a relationship with the divine. The text lays out four main ones. It starts with dasya. That's the mood of a servant, filled with awe and reverence. Then you have sakhya, which is all about friendship and being equals. Above that is vatsalya, or parental love, where the devotee feels like a protective parent. And right at the very top is Shringara, the incredible intimacy of conjugal love. Each step is just a deeper and deeper level of closeness. The text makes a really beautiful point here. From the perspective of any single devotee, their own particular mood of love feels like the absolute best, and in a way, it is, for them. But the text adds, if you were to step back and make an impartial comparison, you'd find that as you go up that ladder, there's a greater sweetness, a quality known as madhuri. And that brings us to the very pinnacle of that hierarchy. The highest, sweetest mellow of them all is known as Shringara Rasa. The text also calls it Madhura Rasa, which just means the sweet mellow of conjugal love. But even inside this highest taste, the text makes another really interesting distinction. There is Svakya, which is the love of a married partner. It's stable, it's secure. And then there's Parakya, the love of a paramour. And the text says that in this Parakya mood, with all its risks, the stolen moments, the sheer intensity, that's where you find the greatest increase of mellow. The forbidden nature of it actually makes the feeling that much stronger. And this is what makes it so incredibly special. This ultimate expression of love, this parakya mood, is described as being unbelievably rare. According to the text, it exists nowhere else in any universe, only in the spiritual realm of Raja. That makes it the most exclusive and sought-after spiritual achievement possible. So, just to recap the journey we've been on, you can see this clear progression. We move from the reverence of being a servant to the equality of being a friend to the nurturing love of a parent, and it all culminates in that ultimate sweetness found only in conjugal love. It's like a complete map of devotional feeling. And finally, the text identifies the ultimate embodiment of this perfect love. While many in Raja share in this highest mood, the text says that this feeling finds its absolute perfection, its highest possible expression, in one person, Sri Radha. Which brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? We've journeyed from a love that goes beyond rules all the way to the very pinnacle of that love. And it leaves us with this final thought to chew on. If the highest spiritual goal is a state of pure, spontaneous feeling, what then is the real purpose of all the rules and regulations we find at the beginning of the path?